Hello students, let us start our chapter Roman numerals. In this section we will learn rules for making Roman numerals. So let us see this video.
Pasha is trying to get a good night's sleep. After all, he is going to play the lead role of a Roman warrior in the school play tomorrow. But Pasha is curious. He just could not stop imagining what Romans looked like, what they did, and how they lived in those days. And with these thoughts, Pasha went into a deep sleep. And in his dreams, he lands up in a place he has never been before. Where am I? This place looks very strange. What are these letters? Oh, will somebody please explain? My head is spinning. Professor, thank God you're here. Where are we? And why are we dressed like this?
Calm down, Pasha. We are in ancient Rome. This is how people dress in Rome.
Rome? And what are these letters all about?
People in Rome use these 7 capital letters as symbols for a given value. That's why they are called Roman numerals. Have a look at these. You can represent any number by combining these symbols. Of course, there are certain rules that you have to follow.
What are those rules?
Okay, listen carefully. When we write Roman numbers, we generally write numerals in the order of decreasing values from left to right. The values of these numerals are then added to give the value of the number. For example, in the Roman number XV, we add 10 and 5 to get 15. When numerals are repeated in a number, their values get added. For example, if we repeat the numeral x 3 times, its value 10 is added thrice to give 30. But remember, you cannot repeat the numeral more than 3 times in any number. Also, symbols like V, L, and D cannot be repeated, as the values represented by repetition are already denoted by the symbols X, C, and M as shown in the table.
Okay, thanks for the word of caution.
If a smaller numeral is written to the right of a numeral of greater value, its value is added to the greater numeral. For example, look how the numerals X, V, and 2 I's are written to the right of the numeral L, which is of greater value. The value of each numeral is added to 50 to get 67.
That sounds easy.
Now that's not all. You can also write a smaller numeral to the left of a numeral of greater value. But in this case, you'll need to subtract its value from the value of the greater numeral. For example, in this number, the smaller numeral x is placed to the left of the bigger numeral c. So, its value 10 is subtracted from 100 to give 90.
So, does that mean that I can subtract any smaller numeral from a larger numeral? For example, can I subtract I from L to get 49?
No, Pasha. You can subtract I from only V and X. Similarly, X can be subtracted from only L and C. And C can be subtracted from only D and M. Note that the numerals V, L and D cannot be subtracted from a larger numeral. Now we come to another interesting rule. If a smaller numeral is written between two numerals of greater value, its value is subtracted from the value of the greater numeral that comes immediately after it.
Oh, look what I found, Professor. In this, a smaller numeral represented by I is placed in between the larger numerals L and V. So, we subtract 1 from 5 to get 4. Then, we add 4 to 50, which is the value of L, to get 54.
You are right, Pasha. You seem to have understood the rules.
Thanks a lot for explaining me the rules. Now I can figure out the signs on the streets and get back home.
Good luck with that, Pasha.
I think they are right when they say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Pasha wakes up from his sleep, feeling a little lost. Soon he realizes that he has been dreaming about Roman numerals all night. Pasha feels a lot more confident now and is all set to play his role of a Roman warrior.